Hey friends, Pastor Michael from Organic Church. We're excited for another season of growing together. We'd love to have you join us on Sunday mornings at 10 or Wednesday evenings at 7 for friends, family, and a whole lot of Jesus. All right, can I get my Kimball update now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I finally beat the system. So let me rephrase that. I think that maybe they haven't figured out that I've beat the system yet. So I got an email from the guy, and he says, hey, I know that you want to cancel, like you're really unhappy. He's like, but if you keep your contract until September of 2025, you won't pay any fees. Well, that's 7 months. If you buy out your contract, which is what they want me to do, you have to pay for 6 months. So paying for one more month, plus I get all the service, cancel, no penalty, right? Here's the problem that he hasn't apparently figured out yet. Our contract doesn't expire until sometime into 2026 or 2027. I signed a new one when we went to weekly pickup, and I know for a fact that that's the case. I looked through my email. I can't find the new contract, but I know for sure that I did. But he doesn't know that, so I'm running with it.
Absolutely.
I'm like, you know what? Yep, absolutely. We'll do that. We'll do that. And that's why I was going to cancel it, because I knew we were like 2 more years at least. Because they're 3-year terms, and it hasn't been a full year since I switched. Because we were weekly when we first got the dumpster. I switched to bi-weekly or bi-monthly. Is that every other? However, twice a month. And then
bi-weekly.
Okay, bi-weekly. And then I went back to weekly. And every time you change your service schedule, you sign a new contract. So I know for a fact that I'm 2026, 2027, but he thinks 2025. We're going to take it. So I'm happily pay them.
So hopefully he's not listening.
Yeah, even if he is. Even if he is, I've got the email to prove that that's what he told me. So
Yep.
There we go. There's the Kimball update.
Nice.
I also have one of our other businesses is expiring in September, October of this year.
Maybe that's the one he was thinking about.
That's kind of what I thought too. I wasn't going to say that. But he emailed us and said that he received our cancellation. I'm like, well, duh, we sent it a year ago. Like that we would be terminating our contract at the end of the contract date. So I called another trash company today, and they're coming on Tuesday to give us a quote for replacing it in September.
Nice.
So, yeah. And they always, every time I talk to Kimball, they always tell me like, oh, that company has environmental and service fees and they have administration fees. And I sent them copies of my bills with none of those fees on any of my bills. I have like 7 accounts with them. Not a single one of those fees on any of them. And they're like, well, maybe you're just a really lucky customer, but if you sign a new agreement, you're certainly going to have this. I'm like, whatever you say. I'm like, I ain't paying them right now. So, yeah, always good fun. Love it. What's today's topic?
I
don't know.
Is it this one? Is it this
television.
one? Oh, you're right. It is. Okay. How does your faith influence what you watch on TV and look at on the internet?
There's nothing on TV worth watching.
That's a great answer.
It is a pretty good answer. Real quick question. How many of you have ever heard of the musical Avenue Q?
No.
No.
I didn't figure. Okay. We'll talk about it, but not right now. I need you guys to sin a little bit before I do. Okay.
I'd say in the last year, the Holy Spirit has really worked on me on that. Just because if there's something on, it's offensive. I won't watch it.
Explain that. What do you mean by offensive? Because offensive is different to everybody. Yeah.
So, like I talked about, my husband watching Mike and Molly, and anything
like vulgar.
Yeah, anything sexual, whether it's just even if they're making hints about it, it disturbs me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's really changed. I just and what I will sometimes get caught up watching that he watches, and then I'm like, why am I doing this? When I have to leave the room, is that Bar Rescue.
Oh, I've never watched that show.
It's foul.
I was gonna say, like, I think I've seen clips of it, and the guy that's rescuing the bar, he goes in there and he starts just dropping some serious language.
It's the foul language.
And listen, I can keep up with the best of them. Like I really can.
Is
but
it like Hell's Kitchen, kind of?
yes,
But-
same concept.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Yes.
But so here's my thing. This is not everybody's going to agree with me. Most of you probably won't agree with me at all. But in my mind, when I say a swear word, I don't swear at people. Do you know what I mean? Like you SOB or, I'm going to knock the whatever out of you. Like that's just never been my gig. But I'll dang it, things like that. Like that happens pretty frequently. But I very seldom am ever directing it at people. And almost every one of those shows that you watch, they're always directing it at people.
Yeah.
And I'm not justifying saying it at all. I'm saying that for me, like there's a rationalization in my brain, whether it's right or it's wrong. But I don't know why, like when you watch a show, and I remember Manifest. Have any of you ever watched Manifest on Netflix?
I watched the first season.
The first season, good. Stop. Because everything past the first season is garbage.
Perfect.
That show was, I think it was a Netflix original, but it was filmed in Canada or owned by a Canadian company. First couple of seasons, super clean. You might hear the D word or something like that, but it was very, very, very clean. Then Netflix took it over in the United States, and all of the sudden, and I'm talking characters that have never said a swear word on the show before are now swearing like sailors. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me because you've ruined the character and you've ruined the show. So I didn't make it past season 1 of that show, but my wife watched the whole thing. And while she was watching it, I would catch pieces. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was the same with House of Cards, where the one guy was the president and his wife was...
Yes.
I think maybe that show ran 7 seasons or something like that. It was like season 5. All of the sudden, everybody's swearing. And this was exactly what it was. It was bought by a different network and just went downhill.
I think SpongeBob, like that happened to SpongeBob.
They swear in SpongeBob?
No, like
I was like, whoa.
like new owners, but then not necessarily that change of like swear words, but you could tell there was like a personality change between him and Patrick.
New owner, who dis? I will tell you, my kids, that is a TV show my kids have never been allowed to watch, SpongeBob. And it's because they always call people stupid. Yeah. They're always calling names.
Yeah.
And like
just,
laughing, like laughing at one another.
Yes, right. And so like they will see clips like the clip where Patrick is answering the phone at the Krusty Krab.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick. They call right back, is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick. And on and on and on again. And my kids will do that.
Yeah.
They have never seen the episode. They don't actually get all of the funny. Yeah. And they've seen the guy who went and ripped his pants, the song in the one episode. Like they see some of that, but they definitely are not allowed to watch that show on the reg. Like we're pretty, I don't want to say we're strict about what they watch, but we are pretty careful. Easton, though, you can't really stop him. He finds ways around it. If he figures
not to, and then
if he figures out your password for anything, you can count on whatever it was that you told him not to do. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Yep. We've learned that there are some things you just don't say to him. They made an Elvis cartoon. Did you watch that, Nick?
I think you were telling us about it.
He was a secret agent. So Elvis was he always wanted to be a super, like he always thought of himself as like not thought of himself as yes.
Yeah.
But like identified with Captain Marvel Jr.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Lightning bolt.
Yeah. And so like he always had a fascination with comic books, things like that. So he's always like his dream was to have a comic book or a cartoon made after him. And so Priscilla made that happen a couple of years ago. Easton desperately wanted to watch it. And I told Alyssa, I'm going to watch it first, at least some of it, to see how we feel about it. Right off the rip, there's a monkey doing cocaine. They're dropping the F-bomb. I'm talking like it was
kidding?
No, it was nuts. And so I said to Easton that he couldn't watch it, and he was immediately angry because he wants to see it. There was no way you could let him watch that. No way.
Is there any premise to it?
No, not really. So he's a secret agent, and Elvis had a monkey. Scatters was the monkey's name, and so that's the monkey in the show. And I think it was just like a funny tie to the fact that Elvis had a monkey, so that was the reason he was in there. But this monkey was, just the whole show was off the chain. And I think I maybe
Didn't
watched.
you say it was on the kids part too?
Yes,
like
you could watch
Kids?
it. So like Netflix Kids, it was available on Netflix Kids, which was crazy. I don't think it is anymore, but it was at the time. But that was nuts. That was absolutely nuts. So.
Turn him on Tom and Jerry.
You know what? Here's the problem with Tom and Jerry. You know, at the beginning of Tom and Jerry, it's like that. Do not try this at home. These are only cartoon characters. Like that's like the new thing. Did any of us as kids
Ever think
that we were going to light dynamite in somebody's pants?
No.
Did any of us think that dogs could walk on two legs and talk? Did any of us think that a chicken could talk with a stutter? The answer, no. But for some reason, we have to tell kids today that this is only a cartoon. There's something wrong with society.
Yes.
Which is the reason that we can't have toy guns anymore.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
it used to be that toy guns, and Nick, this is probably true from when you were a kid, because I know it was true when I was a kid. They didn't have the orange tip.
No.
Like I could have it was green or black or, you know what I mean? It looked like a gun. You can't do that anymore. They have to put the orange tip on the end because
Right.
kids are carrying these things into
somebody.
school and, you know, it's nuts. I remember years ago, there was a little boy who got shot by the police. He was carrying a squirt gun. It had an orange end on it, but they covered it with electrical tape. So the cops thought he had a real gun.
Oh, that was in Cleveland, wasn't it?
I don't know. I can't
think it
remember
was.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, what do you do? What do you do? Like, you don't feel like you should have to tell people not to do that stuff. But here we are.
I think even the podcast, I tried. I'm like, nope, can't do it.
So how do you feel about like true crime podcasts? I've been watching I'm a Murderer on Netflix. Have I told you guys about that?
You mentioned it last week.
Okay.
I haven't watched it yet.
Great. It's a great show because you get to see all of these people who are in prison and they tell their story first. And then you get kind of a mix of the arresting officers or the investigating officers, and they're like, well, that's not quite how it actually went. But they let them listen to, so like the inmate will get to listen to what the arresting officer said, like, no, that's not true. And then they'll speak to whatever that.
I think I watched one a few weeks ago.
It is really, really good. But I mean, we're talking about murder. We're talking about drug addiction and drug use and rape and all of the like really nitty gritty, like kind of gross things.
That doesn't bother me.
That
It is
doesn't
the
bother
foul
me
language,
because
though.
that is truly has happened.
Right.
So
Yes.
that was going to be my question. So if it's reality, it doesn't, like if this is okay, so how about like a Jeffrey Dahmer documentary or like a retelling of a Jeffrey Dahmer
That's
story?
what I was going to bring up is, you know, a few years ago, like I watched well, I think one was John Wayne Gacy, one was Ted Bundy.
Yeah, they're all on
And I watched
Netflix.
a documentary, and by the end of that, I'm like, why am I watching?
Yeah, why'd I just sit through that?
And every time I watch, it's like, okay, now I have to watch 2 hours of something silly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
To even try to get this out of my head.
Yeah.
Just as a
It's
side
just-
note,
it's not good.
the John Wayne Gacy thing is bizarre to me.
Yeah.
The fact
Dressing
that
as
his
a
wife
clown
lived
and-
in that house, like
They said when they walked in, you could smell it. Like you knew
and
that
he
there
just
was something
kept-
going
and
on.
He just kept telling his wife, like, "Oh, it's the sewage, or
Yeah.
it's this, that," and I'm thinking,
I would have been like,
"We
we sell in this house and move in.
like,
Yeah.
I can't go to the bathroom without Margie knowing where I am and what I'm doing. It's like, how is he burying these people under the house?
Yeah.
And she's totally clueless.
Yeah, absolutely clueless
It's
to it.
just, it's hard to fathom. But what I really like, though, if anything out of those shows, is if the investigators are a part of it and they're telling their side
Yes.
of it.
Mhm.
Yes.
I really like that because
too.
you could tell they're on a quest to stop whatever evil
And it's a
this is.
professional standpoint.
You know, and you
too.
could see all the sacrifice
Yes.
they're making to try to find this person and stop them. And it's like that at least makes it kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
somebody here's doing something good.
Yeah. Before
And
you
you get
started,
to learn about them.
before you started, Nick, I was thinking like, yeah, it's okay, but then if you're like binge watching something for a week straight,
Yeah.
like those, or or that's all you listen to is true crime, like, and then that might be an issue. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I have to jump between podcasts right now. Like I have an obsession with The Best Idea Yet. So if you haven't listened to it, absolutely listen to it. It's on the Wondery app. It's fantastic. One of the best.
Do you pay for the Wondery app?
No, you can get them on Apple Podcasts. You can get them on Spotify. You can get them anywhere. But it's like it's a Wondery podcast that then is distributed other places. I'm telling you, if you just like weird history about stupid things, it's fantastic. I just listened to the one about Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. It's well put together. It's a fun thing to listen to. But at the same time, I'm usually listening to, like right now, I'm listening to Somebody Knows Something. It's about a girl who just vanishes. She just vanishes. Her boyfriend proposes to her on New Year's Eve on some television show, and she's never heard from again. That's it. That's the end.
What?
And so her mom is desperately trying to find her. They have no idea. Like, she didn't show up to pick her mom up from the airport. And that's when they knew something was wrong. So it was the very next day, and they've never found her. No idea where she's at.
There's one I listened to like it happened in Australia. There were like 49 episodes, all an hour and a half long.
Jeez.
Ooh.
Like that, yeah. That's when I was working 6 days a week. I'm like, all right, another one.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Now, see, I like the crime stories, but most of them, even though it can be brutal or you don't have that foul language.
Yes.
Yeah,
Typically,
that's
yes.
true.
It's not a lot of swearing and things like that.
And I think, like, to go back to it, I think we're also interested in those things because we're all like, it's just fascinating. Like, how does someone like us who grew up in a small town or something, you know, how do they get to that point where they start to think, I'm going to eat people? Or, you know, like, it's just, I think I read something or heard something like, it's fascinating for all of us because it's just like,
we can't imagine doing it.
Yes. And like how the human brain works.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I will say this, though, and I preached this maybe 2 weeks ago. I can't remember for sure, but we want resolution. And so we listen to those things looking for resolution. We get obsessed with serial killer documentaries because, like you said, we want to understand it. We want resolution. We want finality as to why it happened. And the fact remains is it doesn't matter. We'll never have an actual understanding. John Wayne Gacy just didn't think he was doing anything wrong.
No.
Like, he genuinely thought like this is normal. Jeffrey Dahmer, it's like he knew he was luring people into his apartment and that wasn't okay.
He would say, like, I wanted to stop.
Yes.
Right.
Whether that was true or not, I don't know.
Right,
But he would
right.
say that,
But
like, I wanted to stop.
There was so much of it that I think is learned behavior, in my opinion. So, like, and I just be honest with you, like, Easton, I don't think he's a serial killer, but like, he'll say things like, I'm sorry I was bad. He knows that I have to apologize in order to get my tablet or in order to, like, there's that, like,
Learned behavior.
conditioned learned behavior that I have to do or say in order to get X. On that I'm a murderer, there's a guy, this is a bizarre story. He started drinking at the age of 9. By 9, he was a full-blown alcoholic, is what he said. Okay. This is his story, so I don't know whether any of it's actually true or not. It's just the way he tells it. By 9, he was a full-blown alcoholic. By like 13, he was doing hard drugs, yada, yada, yada. Been in and out of jail his entire adolescent and most of his adult life. Couldn't get a driver's license, so he rode a bike. He rode his bike to the bar while he was on probation, wasn't supposed to be in the bar. Rides his bike to the bar, parks it inside, says to a guy, watch my bike. He goes over to shoot pool.
Oh, I watched.
He looks up, notices
this
his
one.
bike is missing. He goes over to the guy, where's my bike? The guy goes, even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you. And they were pranking him. They had taken the bike outside and put it in the back of a truck or whatever. This dude gets raging mad and stabs him 3 times and kills him over a bike. Okay? Because he's drinking. He's probably on drugs. And that's what happens, right? Our minds can't process. Like, I could never be so mad at somebody that I stab them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, even a Kimball person, I could never be that mad. Like, it's weird.
Speak for yourself, okay?
It's weird for us to think that somebody is capable of doing that. So during the episode, he's sitting there and he's telling his story and he says, you know, I know that I didn't make the right choice. Under the influence of alcohol and drugs, I made a bad choice. I know, and I didn't mean to do that. And my life should be better than it is. That's what he's saying. And then they have like a forensic psychologist and she's like, yeah, but if you listen to him, it's never about the victim. It's never about the victim's family. It's always about him, which is a psychological disorder. And he is exactly where he needs to be, basically.
Yep.
So he decides to transition that the reason that he did all of these things was because he actually wanted to be a female. And all of those psychological issues were building up to this moment. Okay. He changes his name to Esdith. Okay. EZDEATH. Easy death. Now, what kind of insult is that to the person you've murdered, the family who's still alive? Like,
Yeah, if you have any remorse at all.
exactly. And he's like, well, that wasn't my intention. I just love the name. I'm like, no.
Yeah, right.
No.
If you said your name was Mary, I would probably believe you because, like, right, it's a common name. But Esdith spelled that way just kind of feels like it's an insult. And this whole episode, he's talking about how all of these things that he went through as a child made him do what he did. And I'm like, no, because you can stop. You can get help. You chose not to. And I'm not saying that there aren't people who like genuinely struggle with those things. There's some point when you're like, you're clean and you're sober because you're in jail and you're still making really poor life decisions. No, you're just a jerk.
Yeah, a lot of people blame it on the generational curse.
Oh yeah, for
And,
sure.
You know,
Oh yeah.
I know it's bad around here, but I also have seen plenty people around here who have broken
Yep.
that. So,
Yes.
you know, I know it's
My children
possible.
are two that have.
Yeah. And
Well,
my
And my
brother,
daughter hates it when it's called a disease.
Well,
Yes.
because it's not
Like
like
she said, addiction isn't a disease.
it's a choice.
A disease is cancer.
Yeah.
yes.
She's like, you don't choose to get cancer, but you choose to continue to use drugs.
Now, I can understand, and again, maybe not a popular opinion, but I understand how addiction can feel like a disease
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and in the
And
mindset
there's
that
a
you
lot of
can't
mental health
stop.
that
Right,
goes along with
exactly.
that, and
Yes.
they don't take care of their mental health.
Exactly.
Right.
I cannot go to a casino. I can't do it. If I go to a casino, I can't stop. I don't know when to. I will drain my bank account.
Dopamine hit.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, I can't go to Chuck E. Cheese because I'm like, it's give me all the tokens. Is how many tokens can I get for $100? That's it. Let me go to the bank and get another 100. 'cause-
Chase and I have gone like 2 or 3 times, and we'll both say, "All right, 50 for me, 50 for you." And I'm the same way. I'm like, "Oh, mine's all gone." He's like, "Here, you can have mine." I'm like, "No, I shouldn't."
Yeah.
But then I end up just taking it.
I just can't do it. And because I know that I can't go to the casino. If anybody says to me, hey, we're going to go to the casino, do you want to go? The answer is flat out no. Thank you for the offer. I would love to, but I can't. I don't have a problem saying that to somebody. But that's a choice, right? Like,
right.
I know, trust me, I've done it. I went with my sister one time. I said, I'm taking $100 in cash. That's it. Well, they got ATMs all over that place.
And
They
the
just
fees
want you
are
to spend it.
outrageous.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they get like $20 off of me just for saying I want to keep playing. And we were playing nickel slots, and I was like 10 minutes in, and I'm flat broke. And my sister was like, "What?" I'm like, "Max bet, baby, 100 lines. I don't know how this works. I don't know how I'm gonna win. Just keep hitting the button." It was nuts. It was absolutely crazy. But I knew that I just can't do those things, and so I agree that part is the disease. The inability to stop is the disease. The choice to do it for the first time
Is not.
like you have made that decision that this is what you're going to do. And I look at my cousin. You guys all know her. I won't use her name, but she did not come from a line of drug addicts or alcoholics. She didn't come from a family who I didn't know a single person in my family who did any type of hard drugs until her. Right. And it was lifestyle. It was the people that she ended up running around with. It was the people she made friends with.
Yeah.
And then it was hard to kick.
Yeah.
But man, when she finally beat it, turned her life around. You know what I mean? She's working 6-7 days a week, making as much money as she can, putting it in the bank so she can fight for her kids. Like that's what getting sober looks like.
Yeah, because
Right.
you have a sober mind.
Yes.
That
Yes.
has the willpower to want to do it for yourself and your kids. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy though, because when she was using, and I don't know why they think we don't know.
Right.
Right? If you don't call them out on it, you don't
Yeah.
know.
So it had gotten pretty bad. And my grandma's like, we've got to do something. She's like, I need your help. So I went to my grandma's house. I called her and I said, hey, I need you to come to grandma's house. And
Have
she's
an
like,
intervention?
basically, she's like, I can't. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not leaving here until you come. And she's like, well, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm like, no, you're not fine. I said, and quite frankly, I don't even know if you're the one texting me right now. You could be dead and it could be somebody else texting me, pretending like you're okay. I need to see your face. So it was like 2 hours and she finally shows up. She has a sty in her eye. Like she is just looking rough. Okay. Another 2 hours sitting there. She finally agrees to go to detox. So I drive her to detox. My grandma and I drive her to detox. She's there for 48 hours and leaves. She ain't clean.
No.
It wasn't until she got picked up for something, they forced her into rehab. That's when she finally got clean. And they didn't just force her into rehab. So she rolls up to rehab, being driven by the guy who she has a protection order against.
Yeah, absolutely.
As soon as the rehab saw him, they call the cops. He gets picked up. So now he's out of her life.
Right. Yeah.
So she stays in rehab. She gets out of rehab. Now she's clean. She doesn't have that crowd
Right.
following her around.
Right.
And so now she's able to actually get clean, have a real life, and have a
Focus
shot
on
at getting her
children.
kids back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, she misses church most Sundays, and that's because she is at every wrestling match that her kids have. For her, that's important to her because she has been absent for so long.
Absolutely.
That she feels like that's
sorry.
You're okay.
She messaged me when the fasting started and was like, "Hey, I did the fasting start yet for church? I want to do it, but I don't, haven't been there in a few weeks." I said, well, it just started yesterday. I'm like, but just go a day later, jump in. So I was happy to see that she, had asked. So that was nice. But
when we were young, it was Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger and Children of the Corn. We saw all of those movies. I wouldn't dare watch one of those nowadays.
I'm a firm believer. When you watch that stuff in your house, it brings evil spirits.
It's just.
So we don't watch scary movies. Now, again, I'm just a sin over here, okay? Like my kids, we've watched Hocus Pocus, which I know everybody gets kind of crazy about that stuff. And I'm not advocating but we teach our kids that this is fiction. This is not real. We are not witches. We are not wizards.
Right.
And so we make a very clear definition as to what this is. This is a fun movie.
Just
that
like
is
Harry
it.
Potter.
Correct. And I'm not saying that that's for everybody. I'm not saying everybody can do that because some people will obsess over it and then they're buying their kids Harry Potter wands and they're walking around saying magic spells. You're probably getting into some dangerous territory there. Mm-hmm. And there are some of those shows where I guess they were using real spells in the show, real witchcraft in the shows. And while obviously they're not doing magic in the show, there's a risk there. And so I get it that it's not for everybody. But we would never allow our kids to watch Nightmare on Elm Street or Jason. And it's because I know that my kids are not ready for those types of things.
Right.
When they turn adults, if they want to watch that, if they can understand and process that, fine. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't watch it without having nightmares, especially the 80s horror movies, because everybody's like, oh, they don't even hold a candle to today's scary movies. That's not true. We've become desensitized to that type of movie.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is I think a lot of those old horror movies, even going back to the 60s, all that, I think for the most part they were date movies, suspense movies. You took your girlfriend there.
And she screamed and buried her head in your chest.
They were made to give you a scare.
Yes.
Which people for some reason, people like to get scared.
Yeah.
But now... but now these movies they're coming out with, there's no scares to it. It's just blatant.
It's blood and gore. And that's what I was going to say.
Yes, I'm not watching
to the
any
point
of that.
where it's it's just beyond. I don't watch any new stuff.
The Saw franchise. I'm like, why are people watching this?
Yeah.
Why are you watching people cut off their own limbs?
And a lot of times in the old horror movies, you still had a good guy.
Yes.
The whole point at the end of the movie was, okay, we have to stop.
Yes.
The evil,
good
whatever
overcomes.
this thing
Yes.
is.
Good
Good overcomes.
Yes.
But these movies now, it's
everybody dies and
no point to it.
So how many of us have seen the Final Destination movies sitting in this room?
Maybe one, but I never really seen
Really?
those.
Okay, so that was the movie when I was a teenager. I can't drive behind a log truck without having a panic attack because in the movie, one of the logs rolls off of the truck and kills one of the people in the movie. And the premise is they cheated death. They the one guy freaks out and they all get off the roller coaster or whatever, and they cheat death in that moment. And so now death is coming for them in all of these unique ways. That is not the kind of thing I want in my life.
We had a classmate pass away. From a
Yeah,
logging truck.
Jeez.
And I will not follow a logging truck. I don't care how fast I'm
It's
going.
exactly what I said.
Past that
Yep.
truck.
He was in the military, in a military caravan.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said it doesn't matter to me. If I have to go 90 to pass that log
Same.
truck, I'm doing 90. I don't care.
Will not follow that logging truck.
You don't have to worry about me doing 90. I'll back off and go 40.
Well, you do 90 into the parking lot. Why won't you do 90 there?
We're giving you a rake so you can clean.
Scrape back up.
Not quite that fast.
That reminded me of my grandma. She said not this grandma, you guys know, but my other grandma. The Green Bridge, engine 8 and what used to be green.
Yeah, now it's the one they blew up.
Yeah. Well, her cousin and her would drive to school, there and back, and I think it was the first day her cousin picked her up to go to school, and she gasses it past, on this bridge, and she's like, Gloria, what are you doing? She's like, I'm terrified of bridges, and would gas it anytime she was on the bridge. My grandma, on her way back from school, I think it was, she's like, stop the car, I'm walking across this bridge, and she totally
pick me up on the other side.
Like,
listen, I used to watch soap operas when I was young. the daytime soaps in the evening soaps.
Oh yeah.
But I quit watching those before I even became a Christian. It's like
that was all about
waste of
sex
my time
and
life
Yep.
and
my grandma used to watch. So we would get off the bus on Packer Street and we would walk up the alley to our house. But before we did that, we always went into grandma's house and we had something to eat, as either whole potatoes, cold out of the can, or cold ravioli out of the can. Those were my jam. Like, she always had a stock for me. Okay. So we would go in. Grandma would be asleep in the chair taking her afternoon nap, but the soaps were on.
Edge
Like
night,
it
probably
was
after school.
never like you didn't go in the house and they weren't on. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I think my grandma like purposely waited to go places until after we'd gotten off the bus. Like
probably.
like she waited for us to get off the bus, come in the house, do our thing, and then she would go and do whatever else she needed to do. But it was like that.
Yeah.
She wanted to make sure that her kids were taken care of.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Or make sure we didn't do anything stupid. That's probably more accurate. But
Well,
she wasn't a dumb woman.
And some of the daytime talk shows.
Jerry.
Oh, I watched that.
Did you watch the documentary?
Yeah.
That was good though, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I was shocked it was only one episode.
Yes. Yeah, it was one really long.
The
It was
one-
like more like a
Yeah.
Wasn't there was girls that worked at Embers that were on the
Oh,
Jerry
we had people who attended the church that went on Maury.
Oh,
Maury. Yeah. Which is the same concept. I mean,
Right.
it was
Well,
smut.
maybe it was more.
It
they
was
went on
smut.
Maury.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and the thing is they pay you to come.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
they-
what they were
Right.
like. They
Yes.
were like, "Oh, we're getting new clothes." and we're
It's
getting-
all
so-
expense paid trip. They put you up in a hotel. They feed you real well. And all you got to do is get on TV and fight.
Yep.
and
Act
it was-
stupid.
Yep. Act stupid.
Oh, there was a
Two
Jerry Springer
sisters.
episode that the woman came out on all fours with a dog collar around her neck.
Oh,
Her
geez.
boyfriend was leading her, and she was nude.
Oh, geez.
This
Yeah,
is-
that was Jerry's thing.
And I'm like, nope, this is it.
What's-
Turn that off.
What's funny, if you watch it, that was never Jerry's intention. He wanted a real talk show, and he did it for 2 or 3 years, and it was absolutely boring. And then they hired a new producer who's like, no, we need to make this like late night spicy.
Yeah.
And I mean, the next thing you know, they're beating Oprah in the ratings because nobody had ever beat Oprah, ever. And Oprah doesn't even stand a chance against Jerry Springer. And it wasn't until the couple killed each other. It was a double homicide,
Yeah.
suicide, that they're like, nah, we're done.
Yeah.
I
That
didn't
was-
realize that happened.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they came on the show. So it was a husband and a wife and a mistress.
Yeah.
They come on the show, and the mistress won't fight. She won't fight them at all. She's like, you know what, whatever. Because she was not anticipating that. She was not thinking that they were going to be that. Like, she thought she was coming on and it was going to be like reconnection, whatever. Like it was going to be reconciliation. And so she's sitting out there. The boyfriend or the husband comes out, and then he brings out the girlfriend that he's been seeing. And I mean, it's a total fight. This lady leaves the studio, and they tell her, if you leave, we're not flying you back home. You're going to have to figure out your own way home. She walks to the bus station in tears. Somebody buys her a bus ticket back home. She goes back home. The other two fly home, and eventually they all kill each other. Like, I can't remember if he kills the wife and then the other wife and then himself, or like who did what, but it was a
Wow.
double murder suicide. And then it was like, yeah, we're done.
And what was the one with the one guy was like, that's where it drew the line for me when he went to the hotel room to like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
There
that
was a
was
girl
insane.
on there who called and wanted to be on the show because she was a call girl and her dad would call and hire her.
Mm-hmm.
So like she was part of a service, and he would ask for her and she had to go. And so she was like, I want him to stop. So the producers had to go to the hotel rooms of each of the people and like get them geared up for the show. He shows up to her room, dad's there. They willingly.
Yeah. Like,
And he was like, that's enough. I've had enough.
Yeah.
And he quit. It's bizarre. Like the stuff that people do on TV. And what I can't wrap my head around is how I get that in the 90s, TV was pretty like mostly clean. Like you were still watching Cheers and you were still watching, like there was a lot of, it wasn't quite I Love Lucy and I Dream of Jeannie days and Gilligan's Island, but it was still fairly clean.
Right.
You're talking Family Matters. You're talking,
More often than not, there was still a lesson.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Step by step. Like,
Yes.
what was the ABC, what they had whatever they called their Monday night lineup, but they had a name for it.
TGIF.
Yeah, that was it. There's their Friday night lineup. It was TGIF. Yes. And so you had Family Matters, Step by Step,
Full House.
Full House. Like you had a series. So it was all fairly clean. So when Jerry comes out, like this is all new and people are interested. It's like going to the carnival to see quote unquote freaks.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
There's like this part of you that can't look away, but you know it's wrong. Like you know it's not right to stare and point and do those things, but
you do.
You do it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't remember where we were at. My whole family, we were somewhere. And I can't, maybe the kid was having a meltdown. But he was very clearly had special needs. Let's assume that he was autistic or on the spectrum of some sort. Like, I don't want to put him in a box, but there was obviously, and he was having like a serious meltdown. And all of my kids are looking. And I turned around and I looked and I said, stop staring. I said, because each and every one of you do that and you don't have an excuse. Like, there's no reason for it. You're just bad. Like, you're just misbehaving. And Easton's like, I don't do that. I'm like, dude, you're going to do that by the time we're in the store.
Like, I'm surprised you're not doing it right now.
I know for a fact we're going to do this at least once today. And so there's just that, like, we want to stare, but we know it's not okay to stare.
Right. I remember when McDonald's first had the indoor playground, the one there on the boulevard. I took Sarah and Clayton up there, and there's his dad. He's playing with this little boy going down the sliding board. And all of a sudden, he goes down the sliding board, and his artificial leg falls off.
Oh, my gosh.
Sarah's at the top. She ain't coming down. She ain't coming down.
She might lose her leg.
It was horrible. And he's like, no, honey, look, it's okay. I'll just put it back on. And she's going, no way.
Just from a horrifying kid standpoint, you know, when we were picking Aaron and Aiden up and we were driving 3 hours every other weekend, we stopped at the Speedway in Newcomerstown one time and we went in. I took Aaron and Aiden in. We all bathroom. That's kind of a quick bathroom stop. Grab a drink or whatever, and we go back out. And we walk into the gas station, and there is a little person, beard, mustache, like. And Aaron goes, "That little boy has a beard." Doesn't know. I mean, he's 5, maybe 6 at the time. And the guy gives him a dirty look. And I'm thinking, like, okay, if that were me saying that, I can understand. He genuinely thinks that. And I said, Aaron, you can't say that. And he's like, well, I just want to play with him. Like, to him.
Right.
Yeah.
He just thought that little boy.
It's tough.
Yeah. So it's just, but figuring out how you talk to your kids about those things and make them understand. But so again, just on the SpongeBob topic, we won't allow them to watch shows that call people names and do mean things to people because it becomes that's normal.
Right.
So
I will say, having a family member who has, it's not a prosthetic leg, but it's a foot on foot. And her mom says, you know, most people are, oh, honey, don't stare, don't point, don't look, you know.
Ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, what is that, you know? And I know that's a societal change, you know, but yeah, like, because maybe chances are mom doesn't even know what that is, you know? So, like, if your child does, like, oh, what is that, mom? Like, I don't know, honey, maybe we should go ask them.
Yeah.
Like, and then, hey, do you mind, mom? Like, can you explain more? Like,
one of the big things for me in situations like that, like that's never bothered me when it's a situation like that. It's hard. Adeline has a really good friend who has a sister who is handicapped. And she's not of an age which you can explain the severity of the handicap, just that she is not capable of running and playing and talking and doing some of the things that her sister can do. But then Adeline looks at that and goes, but why is she like that and her sister's not?
Right.
Why is she like that and her brother's not? Whatever. And so, like, there is a fine line with trying to explain to them and also being age appropriate about how you explain it, because you're not going to explain a limb difference to a kid who's not going to understand a limb difference. You know, it's
and at the end of the day, God made everyone different. Like, that's all you got to say.
Yeah.
And my kids, because I worked in the nursing home for so many years, and they were in and out of the nursing home. I mean, at one point they came to work with me, spent a half hour there, and their dad came and picked them up.
Yeah.
You know, so they were in tune to things.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think Sarah was probably about 3 or 4 when that happened. And
Well,
I think her little mind was thinking, if I go down, my legs
I'm
going
going to
my legs
lose
gonna pop off.
my leg.
Gonna fly off.
I used to go to what used to be Schönbrunn Nursing Home. Now it's Divine regularly. Like I was there pretty regularly doing Elvis or whatever, just volunteering. And I remember I was there one time and it became like a whole ruckus and I had no idea what was going on. But apparently one of the patients took his prosthetic leg off and beat the administrator with it, like was hitting the administrator with it. The administrator got put on leave because they had to investigate it because the guy was saying the administrator had done something to him. Turned out this guy had done these things in the past and had been evicted from multiple nursing homes and got evicted from that one too. Like, what is the deal? Like, you get old, you think you just beat people with a prosthetic leg and get away with it.
He's going to end up losing his leg.
They're going to take it away, yeah. Repossess his leg.
Yeah. I think I'm like Roger. Jarvie and I watch a lot of the old Western.
Oh, yeah.
Bonanza. What'd you say? Laramie?
Laramie.
Which one's the bank?
Gunsmoke. Pardon?
The bank. The guys rides with the stagecoach with the money.
Wells Fargo.
All right.
And then there's the train, where they're all the covered wagons go together. That guy, we watch that one.
Wagon Train.
Wagon Train. I was going to say that's the one that Tina Newman was watching the last time she was in the hospital. Hey, quick question about that, and I think we've covered this I think we covered this in the cafe one morning. So Western movies, generally speaking, are pretty innocent, right? Like they're not bad. I mean, there's lots of shooting, but we don't see, it's not blood and gore and things like that. Like, usually it's, whatever. How do we feel about Blazing Saddles? Is that inappropriate?
I've never watched it.
It's hilarious.
It was appropriate at a time when everybody had a sense of humor.
Yes, exactly. Right. You could not make that movie today. No.
Because you watch that and you think, how did these actors all agree to do this? Like, nobody get offended, but they didn't. They all had a sense of humor as long as everybody got treated fairly.
The deal was we offend everybody equally. Like a Mel Brooks movie, that was the deal. Yeah. Like everybody.
I like the old man, the prospector.
I don't think. Don't say it, because whatever he's going to say, I don't.
When the sheriff is coming
when the sheriff's coming into town, yep.
Like Archie Bunker.
Yes.
Sanford and Son. Yes. How did he get away?
Yeah. Well, because again, the times were different.
Yes.
And again, it almost, and I'll be honest, in my opinion, watching All in the Family, watching The Jeffersons, watching Sanford and Son, because I watched a lot of that. I loved All in the Family. It actually kind of taught you a little bit of stuff, because
it does.
It's
not as obvious, the lessons they're trying to teach you, but they're there.
But what I realized very early on was that, okay, racism is not okay.
Right.
Like, to not like somebody because of the color of their skin. And while Archie may have been that way, like...
Yeah, but a lot of times it's clear, like, you understand that, like, okay, Archie's being the jerk.
Correct.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Like, it taught you that because Archie was being the jerk.
Yeah.
But you also, like, when George Jefferson was a spinoff character from All in the Family, but when George would show up at the house, although Archie was mean to him, you could tell that he still liked him.
Still respected him.
He's still, right. And there was, like, because he had a dry cleaner and, like, there was just that, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was the same way when you would watch The Jeffersons and George would call, what was the white friend? He'd call him the white friend. He'd call him a honky.
He's called Mike the Dumb Pollock.
Yes.
So he's treating everybody with
everybody gets disrespect.
Edith's
what did he always had names for Edith. She was a Dingbat, yeah.
Oh yeah, just the way he treated his wife.
Yes.
I mean, you're like, who treats their wife like that?
So you knew that Archie was kind of the bad guy, quote unquote, but there was always like a soft spot too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Jarvie always tells me, "Come on, spit it out, Edith.
Spit it out, Edith. Spit it out." I loved that show. I just felt like that was one of those shows that they should have made forever. They should have made forever. Now, fun fact. I love fun facts because, again, love that show. They donated the chairs, Archie and Edith's chairs, to the National Museum of American History, and you can see them there if you go. However, after they donated the chairs, they did a reboot. And Archie and Edith, they had an extra season. The museum would not give them the chairs back. They had to have reproductions made.
Was Archie's place.
Yes, that was it. Yeah.
Yes.
And they wouldn't give the chairs back. So they had to go have replicas made of the chairs.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite museums. If you ever get a chance to go to DC and go there,
Yeah,
all of the museums in DC are free.
Yeah,
like, they don't cost you anything.
I love that,
and you can walk to most of them. But that museum is super cool. They have a Kermit the Frog puppet, so you can see Kermit. They have Oscar, they have the Grouch. They have one of the pairs of the ruby red slippers.
Is that the one that has the World Trade Center antenna?
Yes,
that's really.
You can see like pieces of the iron from the World Trade Center. You can see the flag that they hoisted to the top of the rubble. I mean, it's a really cool museum. It costs absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. You just it's like, again, that culture that you get to experience.
Just don't go in the middle of summer.
Oh,
you're elbow to elbow with people. Then it's no fun.
Alyssa and I went, just her and I, and we walked the whole thing. I mean, most of it. We scootered. Like, we would get those little like scooters. We would just scooter around, and then we walked. We stopped and had lunch at a little tiny hole in the wall restaurant, and then we walked to the museum where you could see all of the paintings. The National Art Gallery, is that what it's called? We went there because she desperately wanted to see Michelle Obama's portrait. You want to talk about disappointing? Because in photos, it's pretty cool. You see it in person, you're like, that thing is ugly. It looks nothing like her. Like, this thing is hideous. But it's a cool museum to see because you get to see the portraits of the presidents that have been painted, yada, yada, yada. Anyhow, we decided we were going to take a taxi from there to the White House because we wanted to see the White House. We wanted to see the outside of the White House. And it was the only place that we really hadn't been. Mm-hmm. It was like $22 and it was like 4 blocks. But we were in the cab forever because you couldn't get across town. Yeah. It was ridiculous. Yeah. So, but we enjoyed ourselves.
You can't really get close to the White House.
No, and they had the fence up like in front of the other fence. So it was, but they had a guy out there like, I don't remember. There was entertainment out in front. Like, it was not like paid entertainment, but it was like street performers. It was a neat experience. Alyssa and I would totally take the kids to do that, but we obviously couldn't walk the whole thing because, geez, kids would die. Yeah.
I have a wagon. You want to borrow it?
No. My next trip, I have decided that I'm doing this. And again, maybe this is a great topic of conversation. Even live shows. Like, I'm a little bit iffy on live shows anymore, too. I love theater. I love Broadway. But when I first started pastoring here, I was in a show called Company, and it was about a guy who was having like a mental breakdown, basically. And I played a character that smoked weed, and like, it was a little on the iffy side. But anyhow, I think theater is a little bit different. When you're in the show, I don't take that as a reflection of myself. It's a reflection of the character that I portray. Yeah. Now, I do my best to try to stick to stuff that's not super controversial. There's a new version of Godspell, which is the gospel according to Matthew in play form. They sing day by day, and, it's the story of Jesus. It's of his ministry. However, the 2007 maybe revival version is very political. Oh. And so I just tried it. Like, I won't be in that show, and I really won't go see that one because I feel like it ruins the gospel. Like, you're trying to pervert the gospel with politics. And so I try to avoid that. But I just saw yesterday that Milo Manheim, does anybody know who that is? He is a child prodigy star. He was in a lot of the Disney Channel movies. He was just in Journey to Bethlehem. He played Joseph in Journey to Bethlehem. He is going to play Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors on Broadway. And a girl from one of the shows that Easton watches, Victorious, which is a Nickelodeon show, is going to play Audrey in that same run of the show. And I have got to go see it. I'm just obsessed. But I'm a little torn because the whole premise of that show is about a plant that eats people, and like Seymour murders people to feed them to the plant. And so there's this like,
I mean, were you planning on taking Easton?
Yes, because it's his favorite musical, and he loves both of those people who are going to play characters. It was just going to be me and him. We're going to take basically 2 days. We're going to drive over, see the show, spend the night, drive back home.
Where are you going to see it at?
New York
City. Yeah.
Have you ever seen one on Broadway?
I've never been to New York.
Really?
Never.
I went 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm not a huge person like about plays or musicals, and I loved Broadway. Yeah. Like, I mean, we only went and seen one show.
What'd you see?
The Waitress.
Oh my gosh! Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to go because my son and his wife, they go over, because she grew up going over to New York City.
Oh, I bet.
I'm worried about driving in the city, like in Manhattan.
Why don't you
just
Get something like 25 minutes out or something.
Because I'm still, I don't want to Uber. I don't want to Uber
That's
in.
true with that.
I don't want to Uber in. I would much rather. So the hotel, I have a friend they're in New York all the time. Like it's a day trip for them. They'd love to go. And they stay at the Home 2 Suites, which is a 10 to 15 minute walk from just about any theater there. It's like $136 a night. It's super inexpensive and it's a quick walk. But you have to be willing to drive into Manhattan in order to go. And so I'm a little bit nervous because I won't have a co-pilot. Alyssa won't go with me. So I've got to watch the GPS, watch traffic, and
I couldn't imagine.
One time I was there in New York, I was just amazed. The traffic to me seemed like a school of fish. I don't know how they were doing it, but they'd be going up over the sidewalks, and
I can't.
It was just all, and I'm like, nobody got in an accident. I'm just looking at
now
this like, how is this possible?
all these bikes that are doing
in the bike lanes and
they're
Yeah.
deliveries now.
Yeah.
So they're cutting everybody out.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit nervous about that, but I really want to do it. I desperately want to take him. And I thought maybe we fly in.
I was about to recommend that because I don't think you realize how big New York is.
Well, and it's an 8-hour drive. It's 8 hours to drive to New York. If I can fly out of Akron-Canton Airport into New York and then Uber to the hotel and then Uber from there or even walk from there.
Right.
Like that to me would make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, that was my first time flying was going to New York.
Yeah.
It was a bumpy, like...
Turbulent?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Trying to land, I was like, Brittany, I'm going to get sick.
My very first flight ever, has nothing to do with what we're talking about. My very first flight ever was from Akron-Canton Airport to Chicago O'Hare, from Chicago O'Hare to Bentonville, Arkansas. I was part of a select group of people that got to fly to Bentonville, Arkansas for a program that we had piloted for Walmart. I piloted a big inventory program, and I got to, like, I was in a commercial. It was a really cool little shtick that I got to do. Super awesome. And it was one row of seats, like one seat on this side of the plane, two seats on the other side of the plane. And there were very few people. It's middle of the night, very few people on the plane. There was a family in the very back corner, and the lady, as soon as she got on, she asked for barf bags.
Oh.
She pukes the whole flight.
Oh.
I'm talking from the time we got in the air to the time we landed. And I've got my headphones on and I am desperately, I'm like, Lord, I can't, like, I'm going to die. I can't take this. Because that noise makes me want to puke. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize how badly I would get motion sick in the air. Mm-hmm. So we landed in Chicago. I did not realize there was a big time difference. Oh. And so I'm thinking I've got 3 minutes to get to the other side of the airport. I'm booking to the other side of the airport to find out I had an hour, which was fine because then I had time to go find Dramamine and take a nap because I was not getting on that next plane. Otherwise, I was going to die. And honest, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is real life. We take a it's got propeller, like it's not like a jet.
Turboprop.
Yeah. So
them stink.
From Chicago O'Hare to Bentonville, Arkansas, and we land at
Cowfield.
It was Tyson Chicken. Well, we landed in their place. Like they had an airstrip there for their corporate planes to land. That's where we landed. And then they bussed us from there over to where we were going in Bentonville. Nuts. And then on our way back, there were hundreds of us that had to fly back from Bentonville because there isn't an airport in there. Hundreds of us that had to fly back to catch other flights in other places. And so they couldn't get the planes in fast enough to get us all out. So they show up with boxed lunches of Tyson chicken. I was like, hey, I'm not going to complain.
Wow.
I just watched a documentary about like the airplane food. It's pretty interesting.
Is it?
Yeah. Like most of the time they make it fresh, like at the airport. There's
really?
Yeah. And then they ship it and then put it in the boxes.
I mean, some places aren't that way, but a lot of them are. I was like,
I've never had food. I've only ever had a snack.
Same. I was like, I didn't know that they were making all this. Like, I always just get
I've
like
never
pretzels
had a meal
or.
on a plane. I mean, I've only flown 2 or 3 times, but
yeah,
I've never had a meal.
We flew into Italy with the kids with school, and so we went from Akron-Canton to Chicago. And from Chicago, we got on a German airline and flew into Germany, and then switched planes. Well, back in that day, I was a big girl. Well, that little tray didn't want to come down. So they feed you a meal.
Yeah.
So the tray didn't want to completely down on my belly. And that guy, I'll never forget that German steward guy said, maybe you don't need this.
Wow.
I just wanted to lay him out.
Wow.
I just said, well, I'll take 2 of them.
So you can't fly from Akron Canton, not on Breeze Airway, because that's my preferred, because it's fairly cheap. It's very basic,
very cheap,
but it's very cheap. It's like $39 a flight. But you can't fly into New York. You can go to Westchester.
Breeze?
Yeah, Breeze.
Okay.
Dude, I'm talking, it's budget though. Like the one wing is usually held on with duct tape. Like it's budget. But I've never had any bad things to say about it. It's a little tight. It's a little tight.
I think that's who we're
Unless
flying
you
with
get
in July.
Seat 4.
Seat 4.
Seat 4.
Is that do you have the extra?
Right behind the 3 first class.
Do you pick your seat?
Never.
Me either.
Never.
Me either. I always just let them pick it.
Yeah.
But now if I'm going to travel with the kids, I'm going to pick my seat because I want to like.
Lily and I got seat 4 on the way back from Florida. We had 2 windows. She could have slept on the floor if she wanted to.
I flew, me, Alyssa, Aaron, and Aiden all flew to Orlando to meet my mom and dad and the 3 littles. They were going down for a long period of time. We just went for one day just to surprise them. And we let the airlines pick our seat. We always got 2 together, but it was usually 2 here, 2 up there, or whatever. So it was always 2 together. But so the on the flight down, Alyssa sat with Aiden, I sat with Aaron. On the flight back, we let them sit by themselves together. And then we sat in the back, but we sat behind them so we could still see them to make sure that they were safe. But yeah, I think if I took Easton though, I'd probably have to pick my seats just to be.
Generally, if you book together,
they try to seat you together. Yeah.
I do like doing like Southwest and then doing the early check-in. Like if you go on 24 hours before, you can like pick where your seats are, like for free. So a lot of people just don't do it or they don't know about it or something. So if you want a window seat, you just click on it and
what's the other airline? I can't remember what I took.
Spirit?
No, out of
Frontier.
Akron Canton that goes to New York.
I don't know.
Do they have Southwest out of Akron?
They used to.
They used to have. I don't know.
They used to. I
I've
don't know if they
only
still do.
done Cleveland.
I'm thinking that's what I flew into New York.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out because.
But my teeth about fell out. That Uber is like from the hotel, from there to the hotel is like $62.
Does Allegiant from Rickenbacker go into New York?
Where's Rickenbacker?
Columbus.
I don't
like the Columbus one.
I don't mind the Columbus one. I don't even mind the Cleveland one. We flew out of Cleveland when we went to Cleveland when we went to Orlando to see.
I like Pittsburgh. I fly out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't mind any of those. But with Easton, it's such a hard down. Like when the plane lands, then I have to drive an hour and a half or 2 hours home.
Right.
That's a real challenge because he's ready to get out of the car. He's been bundled in. You know what I mean? Like he's
and I mean Columbus. I think it was like over 2 hours, like coming home, and I don't know. Then you just had to go through the traffic.
Yeah.
And Shy was a terrible driver
because they don't drive like you, dog.
I know. I'm like, it doesn't take me that long.
So interesting. It says that out of Akron Canton, there are no nonstop flights to New York.
Huh.
And I'm always wanting a nonstop.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want a layover.
Me too.
Where's the layover?
It doesn't say. I'm looking at just where the nonstops out of Akron Canton are, and it gives you a list, but New York's not on there. So
check Pittsburgh. It's an hour and 20 minutes.
it's still a long drive with
I
Easton.
know, but it's better than 2. It's better than 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's an easy airport to get to.
Yeah, it is a really easy airport. Okay. Well, all right. Well,
Marty and I want to do a Christmas trip to New York.
Just take the bus. Just take one of the buses.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
We say that every year, and we've
And
yet
never,
to.
Yeah.
we,
We
well,
just
when
wanted
we
to do
discovered
3.
one this
Yeah.
year, it was sold out.
Yeah.
That
They sell out
Yeah,
fast.
they
They
do.
sell out really fast. Oh man, I was going to say something.
And if you do go at night on top of the Rockefeller like center, and you can just see all of New York like lit up. It's,
Yeah,
it's
that's
insane.
pretty cool. Oh, I was going to say this. My wife has decided that we're going on a cruise this year.
We might do that next year.
Yeah. It'll be our first cruise. I have gotten some really great tips from some people I work with who are like cruise aficionados. It's what they do. There's this one cruise line. I don't remember the name of it now, but It's super kid friendly and next to nothing.
Really?
I'm talking like $500, $600 a person. And that includes your taxes, your port fees, everything. The only thing it doesn't cover is your gratuity, and it's a 7-night cruise.
Gee.
It doesn't cover your gratuity or drinks. So like if you want alcohol or soda, you have to buy their drink package, which is, if you're a water drinker, you're fine. But
I'd die.
Yeah. I would too. Like, can I take soda with me? Because I ain't going to survive on this cruise.
Tanya and Skeeter would go on cruises all the time.
Oh, man.
I've yet to be on one. It's on my bucket list.
Here, I'll tell you real quick.
I love those Viking cruise commercials.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The river cruises?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no kids. Obviously, it's probably for retired people, but I think that's the ticket right there. Like they go on the Mediterranean, all that stuff. I'm like,
I'd like to do one just down the Mississippi.
Well, so I was going to say my brother-in-law, he was like on the sailing team at OU, and him and my father-in-law always talk about going down the Ohio River, then going all the way down the Mississippi into the Gulf. And I'm like, I mean, they want to do it before Ben dies, so I'm like, hey.
It's MSC Cruises. MSC Cruises. And I'm telling you, like, it's stupid. Like that one's in November of 25. So it's not like I'm booking a last minute cruise, and it's under $700 per person. And there are cheaper ones. You can do shorter days, obviously, but that's a 7-day Bahamas.
And I've always said I want to do a 3-day first just to make sure.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
That I don't get seasick.
But Alyssa is convinced that we're doing 5 days as the minimum for us because we want to really get a chance to relax. So yeah.
I've looked into them, but I would have to go out of Charlotte or some of those weird places because Jarvie won't fly.
Oh, no. Really?
Oh, no, he won't fly.
You can go out of Baltimore.
Yeah, or New York even. You can go out of New York too. But then those ones are typically not
limited.
like, they're not tropical either.
Right.
Like,
You're
coastal.
Well, the ones up in New York, like you can start going up north. I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to do an Alaskan cruise desperately.
Yes. My sister did that.
My one owner went on an Alaskan cruise, and he came back with the best pictures of orca whales.
Oh, I bet.
My dad wanted
gorgeous.
to do that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Dad,
I'm not interested in the cold, but I want to see whales so bad.
Yeah.
I worked with a friend that she went in the summer months. It was 70 degrees.
Oh, man, maybe I need to do that.
Yeah, she said it was 70 the whole time she was there.
I so badly want to go. So badly.
Yeah, my sister was like a travel agent for AAA, and she got to go there. She got to go to Germany. She got to go everywhere.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I want to go to
So
Switzerland
fun. That'd be fun.
in the winter.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I just want to go there to be neutral.
My parents went to the one. Is it the Panama Canal where they put the water in and?
Yeah.
I think so.
Pan American Canal, you mean?
Yeah.
By the way, this is a fun story. So, there was an executive order to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
Do you know why that is? I don't know if this is true. This is what I heard. It's not just he's not just doing it to do it. Biden wrote an executive order that we cannot drill in the Gulf of Mexico. So he's changing the name to the Gulf of America, hopefully circumventing that order, and then he'll be able to drill in the Gulf of Mexico. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just what I heard.
Liquid gold, baby.
Drill, baby, drill. But anyhow,
That makes sense.
Yeah. Would be the way to do it, I guess.
Yes.
But anyhow, I heard today that on some of the chitter chatter for
Ice.
No, my goodness gracious. Meteorologists. So they share information and whatnot. They now refer to it as the Gulf of America.
Oh,
Really?
So, and it's not like they're not political at all, but like it's technically been changed. So
now.
yeah, I'm going to save the map on the wall. Maybe it'll be worth money someday.
right?
Gulf of Mexico.
Cooper's going to be like, that's the Gulf of America.
Yeah,
That's not the Gulf of Mexico.
What
You guys
happened?
are so stupid.
You guys, your map is dumb.
I can hear it now.
Well, we answered it without answering it. We've hit an hour, and I guess we're having some tech snafus in the sanctuary. So whose turn is it to pray? It's Beth. We're back to the beginning. We're back to the beginning. Yes. So, all right, Beth, you want to go ahead and pray for us?
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the opportunity to come before you tonight and just share what's on our hearts and have some good laughs and just spend some time with special friends. And dear Father God, we ask that you just bless all the listeners and that you just bless us all with traveling graces, dear Father God, and get us home safely. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Hey friends, Pastor Michael again. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you should consider joining us on Sunday mornings. Our address is 1943 North Water Street Extension in Yorksville. We'd love to have you join us for an in-person service.